Osama bin Laden's son doesn't want to be a terrorist. Omar is a landscape painter. Last year, he had a personal exhibition in France. His works are mostly in the naif style.
I miss the fun times I had, the times when I was too young to know and too innocent to see the world around me.
He says,
I miss the vast stretches of desert dunes and rolling seas. I miss the peace of childhood.
All this sounds pretty normal. What sets Omar apart is his last name, Bin Laden. The painter is a son of none other than Osama bin Laden. He was supposed to take over al-Qaeda. Instead, he chose a quiet life of art. Osama founded al-Qaeda in 1988, when Omar was 7. The boy has no happy memories of his childhood.
We were kept like prisoners in our homes.
Omar and his siblings were never allowed to play outside. They were banned from watching American cartoons. Osama, a wealthy Saudi lawyer, didn't believe in toys. In fact, he deliberately tried to make their lives as hard as possible. Osama thought it built character.
Life has to be a burden.
He lectured.
It has to be hard.
Omar and the others were beaten for every infraction. They were forbidden to smile or do anything silly. When Omar asked his dad for a bike, Osama replied,
If you need to travel, ride a goat.
When Omar was 15, they moved to Afghanistan. This was when things got serious. Omar was trained at an al-Qaeda camp. He was taught to use an AK and operate radios. The Taliban was fighting a bloody civil war. Osama took his boys as close to the fighting as he thought safe. Omar thought he was going to die. Artillery barrages and shootouts became a constant background.
I grew accustomed to the noise of war.
Osama tried to persuade his boys to volunteer for suicide missions. His troops used poison gas on the children's pets. One day, pinned down by sniper fire on a mountain trail, Omar had an epiphany. He suddenly realized he wanted nothing to do with his father's war. Omar was 18 when he left Afghanistan. His mom took him to Syria. The last time he saw Osama was at his compound in Afghanistan. In 2001, Omar was 20 and living back in Saudi Arabia on 9/11. He was shocked by what he saw on the news.
A lot of people think Arabs, especially the Bin Ladens, especially the sons of Osama, are all terrorists. This is not the truth.
Omar severed all ties with his father after 2001. When Osama was killed in an American raid in 2011, Omar was sad. He issued a statement calling for an inquiry into Obama's orders. The statement was written on behalf of his siblings, but Omar was the only one who signed it.
We demand an inquiry into the fundamental question of why our father was not arrested and tried, but summarily executed.
Omar says he abhors violence of any kind. Curiously, he's a huge fan of American westerns. Omar is especially fond of Clint Eastwood.
I respect cowboys. I love cowboy dignity.
Omar dreams of visiting the United States someday. Osama once called it the worst civilization witnessed by the history of mankind. His son would like to draw his own conclusions. So far, he hasn't been able to obtain a visa. Omar bin Laden is 42 and lives in France with his wife.